Archdiocese of Chicago is a vibrant and diverse faith community. We celebrate our faith through worship, evangelization, and reaching out to the needy. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Yes.
Here we go. Good morning. Welcome to Catholic Chicago. I'm Father Greg Sakowicz, rector of Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago. Seated to my left is Mark Teresi, dear friend and coordinator of our 175th, coming to a close, and now 150th, involved with many other projects in the cathedral. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Very good, very good. Just 150th very quickly. November 23rd is our Mass with Cardinal Supich at 12:30. And following that is a brunch. Please go to holynamecathedral.org and please get your tickets. Join us for a wonderful brunch at the Ritz to begin our celebrations of the 150th.
Closing 175, opening 150, and Mark's been very involved with Claire and John and many others. And we have a great program lined up for all of you today. Backed by popular demand, once again, probably our most featured guest in the history of this program is Dr. Edward Gordon, writer, author, historian, economist, more writing, with his beautiful wife Elaine.
And I belong to the church.
And very, very active at the cathedral for many, many years. Dr. Edward Gordon, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you for having me back.
And one thing I said off the air to Mark and to Edward, every time we have Dr. Gordon, he is so well prepared. It's incredible. He's like our professor on the program. So, Edward, I know you wanted three important topics. We're going to talk about the economy, inflation, and tariffs. Three very important words to most people. So, begin. What is the state of the economy right now, Edward?
Uncertain.
Okay.
The economy is clouded because we live in very uncertain times. If we go to the first slide, I think you'll take a look at our unemployment situation. You can see right now the latest snapshot from the Bureau of Statistics, labor statistics. We have rising unemployment. The jobless rate is now 4.3%, which is the highest level since 2021. If we go to the next slide, it explains in many ways what's going on. These are the current economic outlook figures that we have, and it shows that the tariff situation is uncertain. We don't know how high the tariffs will go or if they'll be retrenched. Many companies are actually cutting back now in their hiring because there's a $350 billion tariff bill that companies are going to pass on to consumers. Now, they're doing that right now by not hiring so many workers. Okay, so that's one reason why employment is now down and we have fewer jobs. Now, there's another factor, though, that we have to look at, and that is we have still millions of unfilled jobs, skilled jobs, in every business sector. Let's take a look at the next slide. This is something that weighs on our economy and unemployment. If you look at these numbers, this is from the National Assessment of Education Progress. This is a snapshot of 4th, 8th, and 12th graders. They started this a long time ago. It's a national exam. It's given to kids in both public and private schools. So Catholic schools are involved here. If you look at this, you see the numbers of the advanced and proficient. The advanced are above grade level in reading. That's 3% of 12th graders. The proficient are at grade level. The next number you look at is basic. These students are below grade level in reading, maybe 1 to 2 years, and below basic are 3 to 4 years. Now I want you to look at that number. The first two add up to 22%. That's on the right side of the divider. The last are 78%. Now the majority of the jobs that we need to fill in this economy today are not low skill. They are medium and high skill jobs.
Now, what does that mean? What does that mean?
That means at least a 12th grade level of reading comprehension coming out of high school. So if you want to be an apprentice, get a certificate, a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, or go on into the professions, you need at least a 12th grade reading level to comprehend the material. And this also extends into math, writing skills, speaking, all right? What this is saying is right now, according to these numbers, only 22% of our high school graduates fit being successful in post-secondary.
That's amazing.
Well, it's been that way for a long time. This has been, and this is lower now. This is going down. The number, if you look at the numbers from 2005 going up to today, you'll see the numbers are deteriorating. Now, there are certain reasons for that. Part of it was COVID, and part of it is screen time. How many people are reading? If the adults aren't reading, and many of them aren't, neither are the kids. They look at the parents. So a better education is needed for more students, which means more rigor. Instead of lowering standards, we need to raise standards. And I talked to parents today who are middle class. If you want your kid to have a middle class lifestyle, you better favor education and the habits that you need to encourage education in your home. If you don't read, they're not going to read. If you run down teachers in schools, they're going to think it's useless. If you spend all your time on a screen, so will they. Copycats, that's the way it is. We need also to better train more workers. A lot of young people today are coming out of college, they want a job. Even we set aside the current cutback in jobs, 80% of companies aren't training, meaning they won't take a econ major or an IT major and train them into the specifics of a job. They want you to be fully prepared. Well, that's not realistic. So a lot of these kids today can't find a job, all right?
Where does college education fit in as opposed to possible training programs in your mind?
Well, right now, if you start at college, 6 years from now, a third will have a degree. The rest will have nothing.
They'll start, drop out.
Yes.
Wow.
They will not complete.
2/3.
2/3 will not complete. And that's been true for a long time. Now, it varies from college to college, et cetera. It's higher in community colleges than it is in prestigious universities. But, all right. Now, also, too, besides this, you have to understand that people in my age group are retiring in droves, baby boomers. A third of us were high skilled. But in 1970, we only needed a third of high-skilled people.
Yeah.
There were plenty of low-skilled jobs, guys. They're gone. Worldwide, they're leaving, all right? And the manufacturing jobs that we want to bring back into the United States are high-skilled manufacturing jobs.
So they can't do it, though.
No.
Well, right. The companies load up their manufacturing with high-tech equipment, and they need technicians to run it. Now, you're going to say, well, what about all the farmers and grape pickers? Well, that's true to a certain degree, but even that is being automated. But those numbers have declined, all right? We still need some low-skilled people. About 25% of the workforce by 2030 will still be low-skill, low-pay jobs. Yeah. If you want a good-paying job, you need to have a better education and the career skills that go with that education for the area you want to go into.
So your nephew comes to you and says, Uncle Ed, I'm heading to college. What would you suggest as a major?
First of all, it should be what interests him, what he's good in. And he wants to be an electrical engineer.
Oh.
So he's gone to one of the top electrical engineering universities in America, all right? Texas Tech and Lubbock, all right? So that's what you need to follow. Follow what you like,
that
all
makes
right?
sense.
My interest was history initially. It branched out into psychology of learning and in economics. That's how I've earned my living.
When you were coming out of high school to college, I'm assuming your parents were very supportive and said, Edward, get that education.
My parents were supportive of me from the time I started first grade.
Yeah, I get
all right. My father was a carpenter contractor, and my mother a secretary. All right. She always kids me that when she was carrying me in her pregnancy, she was reading The Decline and Fall of the Holy Roman Empire, and that influenced me to be a historian. All right. But no, they always they read to me. They gave me books. I have my first book that was given to me, a bound book, as a child, not a child's book, and that was a child edition of Robinson Crusoe.
Your first book?
My first book, and my mother remembered.
You were 16 years old.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh no, that was right before I got married. But I remember her reading. I remember her reading that to me when I had tonsillitis.
Isn't
Oh,
that
wow.
something?
And then later, I read it. All right,
Wow.
and I read Classics Illustrated, and then I read the books. I just sold my Classic Illustrated collection because I had all these comics. I've saved a few of them. When my brain turns to mush, I can read a comic.
But you remind me, in grammar school, I don't know if you did, we had a thing called the Great Books Group.
Oh, sure.
Where you read all the great books and
Yes.
you
Okay.
discussed them.
Yes.
Before we run out of time, before the commercial, we need more foreign skilled workers. The H-1B visa, $100,000 a piece. That's $14 billion a year. In 2024, we had 141 million foreign workers. You're going to say that's denying jobs to our Americans. Yes, in some cases, but I'm telling you, we're short of these skilled workers, all right? And those workers are short all worldwide. So if they don't come here, they're going to go to Canada, England, Germany, Japan. They're going to go somewhere else, all right? Do we need these skilled workers? Well, let's see. We right now have 10 to 12 million vacant jobs. Some forecasts are 30 million vacant jobs in America by 2030. Do we need more foreign workers? Yes, we do need more foreign workers.
To fill those positions.
Right. So the $100,000 a piece charge for the H-1B is not going to encourage us to import. And as I said again, we're competing against everyone that wants these foreign workers. All right. Also, too, well, I basically said worldwide we expect 90 million vacant jobs by 2030 in skilled areas, and we're at 30 million for the U.S.
Now,
economy.
Tom, Edward, you have 90 million vacant jobs. Right there alone, you're hurting the economy because without them working and doing the production, whatever they're to be doing, it's not happening. Therefore, it flattens the economy.
Right. And on the other end, too, we're not training people. So you have you're a 50-year-old man, you lost your IT job, or woman, a woman lost her job in a company because of AI, and you're trained to do that. And you send your resumes out, and no one will hire you. Well, right now, we have 39 million non-retirees who have left the job market. 39 million right now. They're not counted on unemployment. They're no longer in the job market. Now, some of them, many of them, I hate to say, are low-skilled people who have a very hard time finding a low-skilled, decent job. But you have, right now, if you narrow it all down, I say you have at least 7 to 8 million workers who are skilled and they can't find a job, all right? And we could employ them filling those vacant jobs. But because of short-term profit-taking, which is started in the mid-90s, it's accelerated where companies that own steel companies, hotel chains, pharmacies, they're run by financial management groups. And their job is to get a bigger profit every quarter. And to them, investing in people is long-term. They're not into that. They're into short-term.
And they used to be.
Well, before we used the logarithms of the MBA programs to bring the greatest return in the shortest time possible. So they eliminated many things, one of them being training and development. Now, at the height of training, in the 90s, maybe 40% of companies had training departments. Today, it's more like 20%. Okay? So,
Time out there, Edward.
Yeah.
Take us to break, Mark.
We're here, Catholic Chicago, with Dr. Edward Gordon, educator, historian. When we come back, we're going to talk about tariffs, which is on everybody's mind.
I may have a question to surprise Dr. Gordon before tariffs.
That'd be great. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
Our school communities provide students with academic excellence and character education in a supportive and stable learning environment. Come see for yourself. Visit archchicago.org/findaschool.
I am a seminarian.
The church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
We're back. Catholic Chicago, here with Father Greg Sakowicz, Mark Teresi, Dr. Edward Gordon is our guest. Father Greg, you have a question.
Before we move to tariffs, I know this is an impossible question to answer. If you had a crystal ball exactly 1 year from today, end of September 2026, what would be the state of the economy?
We'd be in a recession.
Really?
Yes. How deep? I don't know. Will it be a world recession? Possibly.
So you're not really overly optimistic?
Well, I'm going to give that at the end of today.
Okay.
At the end of this segment, I'll give you my full prediction.
Okay, that's very fair. Mark, you got the question.
Great. As we look at tariffs, I think most people are confused by the whole idea of tariff.
Well, let's go to the tariff slide, slide
Yeah.
4. Let's take a look at it.
I feel like I'm in a classroom.
So here's the tariffs. Take a look at it. At the 1900s, 1890s, we didn't have an income tax, and we had tariffs, and that was one way the federal government, which was much smaller in those days, financed itself. In then that fell during the 20s, and then you'll see how it went up and down and up. This is particularly in 1930. The tariffs helped to deepen the world depression.
For our viewers,
But look where we're at now.
But could you explain tariff?
Well, tariff is the cost put on a foreign good to import it into the United States.
Okay.
So the Chinese are producing an electric car for $25,000. So the electric car makers here, Ford and Tesla, etc., are very unhappy with that because they can't make those cars. So why don't we put 100% tariff on that? So the car now will be $50,000, and it will be competitive with our cars.
Got it.
Got it?
Yeah, I got
so
it now.
Are the Chinese dumping these cars around the world? Yes. Yes, their effort is to take over the electric car industry. So they're making lots of these cars. They're not bad
okay,
cars.
the United States get that car in here, instead of coming in for $25,000, we say to get that car into our country, you owe us $50,000.
No, 25.
25.
Yes, it's half. The car costs 25.
That's what I mean.
You're doubling the cost.
That's what I mean by the tariff, exactly.
Yes, but who's paying that cost?
We are.
Yes.
We are.
Well, initially the companies are. All right.
Right.
And there are various ways to get rid of it. So they're lowering right now, instead of raising prices. Many of them are not hiring. Okay. But if you look at this, our current tariff policy, look at the chart again. If you leave it up for a while, you'll see that it's leading. This is going to lead to higher prices, and companies are forecasting it's going to go much higher, because right now they're absorbing a lot of this. Next year they will not. The Bureau of Economic Analysis reports that the personal consumption expenditure index is now well over 2%. Well, folks, go to the next slide. if you would. There's where we're at with our core prices. We're at 3.2, and the Economist magazine just predicted inflation expectation will be over 5% next year.
Wow.
We're talking about foods, goods, services. The
To
full
jump up
effect
that much?
it will have an impact next year.
Why tariffs then?
The tariffs will drive
No, but
this up.
why are we doing tariffs?
Because there are those in our economy think that because we have a big trade deficit, this will lower our trade deficit. It is not. It is not, and I don't think it will, okay? And some people think we could eliminate the income tax by collecting all this money. But in a way, it's a tax on the consumer already.
So you said that right now, the companies are absorbing the tariff and not the consumer.
Thus far.
But that's going to change.
Except in food. Go to the food market. What do you see?
Prices skyrocket.
I mean, you go to the
For
store every
milk,
day,
for
it's $100, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you buy, 3 Mars bars. I'm exaggerating.
but now,
That's not fair.
Now, 5 years ago, what's today $100? 5 years ago was what, $60? It's huge.
It's huge. That's right. So when you have that kind of cost passed along to the consumer, the last time we had that for a different reason was during the oil crisis. When I was in college, the price of a gallon of gas, $29.9. I used to fill my little car for $5 a week. Now that's a long time
Now,
ago.
here's a great
Now-
story.
Yes.
When I first got my license in 1969, I was 16 years old. I would beg my mother, Mom, I'll do any shopping you want because I want to drive the car. She said, Greg, you can walk. Oh no, Mom, I got to drive the car to go to Jewel or whatever. I remember 1970, my mom gave me $1 and said, Greg, go put in some gas. And so for $1, I got 3 gallons of gas for $1. She'd had a little Ford Comet for $1.
Yes. So what happened later in that decade when the price went up much, much higher, you had inflation, didn't you? And now this is tariffs. This is a different thing. But what you're going to see is as those prices continue to rise, consumers already are cutting back on their spending. That's going to continue. And the things that you want, you're going to have to spend more money for. So that's what causes inflation. You have a limitation of product because it's expensive, and still a demand for that product. Let's go to the next slide, because what this could cause is what we had in the 1970s. Slide 6. It's called stagflation. There it is.
Stagflation.
Stagflation. So we see a number of forces converging that create significant uncertainty for workers and employers, and they can cause a paralysis in the labor market. So this stagnation, the data underscores what the Organization for Economic and Career Development, they take the data from all the major industrialized nations in the world, to the extent to which consumers and businesses are struggling to accommodate tariffs, inflation, and the decline in America's critical skilled workforce, immigrants and regulars, and the overall economy. The OECD, right now, the economy is at about 1.4% in growth. Next year, it's going to drop or be about 1.5% in growth. You need over 2%. And remember, what we're doing now, the current economic situation was to stimulate the GDP, all right? See things. On the other end, because of this huge uncertainty, gold now is at over $3,800 an ounce because people are afraid that the stock market ultimately will crash and they'll lose a lot, so people are buying into gold. Now, the other problem is when we have a recession, like we had when COVID hit, the federal government, the Federal Reserve, bought a lot of treasuries in order to prop up the economy. That's not going to happen again. Right now, the federal debt total is $37 trillion. That's the long-term liabilities that this government has.
Wow.
Worldwide, the level of debt is $100 trillion. So my point is, when the next financial crisis hits, and It's going to come. Right now, crypto asset valuations are now being allowed into the regular financial market.
And what is crypto?
Well, crypto is a speculative Ponzi game of there's nowhere to go but up. So you buy a crypto coin with the idea it will increase in value. There are crypto mines where you can mine the coins, and now people are beginning to consider buying that as an asset.
Is that dangerous?
Well, yes. I think it risks the financial stability, and it could be one of the reasons where we will have, combined with high debt, combined with uncertainty, tariffs, inflation, unemployment. We could have next year, we could see the start of a major downturn in the economy.
Now, this is a question that might be totally off the wall. I saw a picture from 1929, I think it was either right before or after the stock market, of something of a picture that involves a clock. They said this picture predicts the future of the economy. Do you have a clue what I'm talking about?
Well, I think a comparison to 1929 is way overblown.
Okay.
All right, that's not what we're talking about.
Not at all.
At least initially. But my point is that we are running the risk of a major economic crisis worldwide because of these factors. One of the chief ones is we have technology increasing, and it's increasing the need for more educated workforce worldwide. We're not meeting that, okay? A lot of companies stopped training because they could not find young people who were trainable, meaning that read at the 12th grade level to go through the training. They flunk out. At one time, I was deeply involved in the training and development field, working with companies that were training workers. And with one railroad that I was helping, they were trying desperately to find workers within their employment who could be trained into jobs in the railroad. There were 15 unions had apprenticeship. And what they found out was most of their people flunked out. Why? Because even though they were high school graduates, they read at the 8th grade level, the 6th grade
Edward,
level.
We have another minute. Give us your prediction. You said the end of the program you're going to give us a prediction.
Yes.
What's your prediction?
My prediction is that we will slowly slide into a recession, particularly if the tariff regime continues. If the tariffs are lowered or even abolished, that will really help the economy. But also, we need a better educated workforce. We are running out of enough well-educated people in the U.S. workforce, and we need to increase our rigor in our elementary and secondary schools, not lower it. AI is not AI is a tool. It's not. It gives you answers, but it doesn't improve thinking, problem solving, and creativity, which is what companies want.
And on that note, I want to thank Dr. Edward Gordon, historian, research writer, economist,
You're welcome.
a very active parishioner at the cathedral. Edward, you'll be back on again in the program. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Special thanks to Dr. Edward Gordon. Special thanks to co-host Mark Teresi. Special thank you again to our director and producer, choreographer, what do you want to call it, Michael May.
Where do you think Father Greg's investments are going?
Oh, right up to heaven.
On that note, go Bears. Amen.